Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Coasters Show. In this episode, we chat to Danny Murphy about all things AFC Fylde Women. We take a trip down to the newly built AFC Fylde Women's Academy, and we also visit one of our women's sponsors at the Derby Hill Farm. But up first, we are delighted to be joined by the women's head coach, Danny Murphy. So Danny, thank you for joining us. And first off, I want to take you all the way back to the start of your footballing journey. I know you were a bit of a Millwall kid growing up, but obviously came through at West Ham and Queen's Park Rangers. How was that like growing up?
Yeah, good. Obviously, like signing for West Ham when basically I grew up as a Millwall fan. I lived opposite the ground. Wasn't allowed to support anyone else anyway. I think I tried to support Tottenham a little bit when Teddy Sheringham left, but my dad wasn't allowing it. So, grew up as a Millwall fan. I said, lived literally opposite the stadium. So, yeah, probably wasn't the best choice of going and signing for West Ham, but it was good. I mean, I was probably one of the younger kids on the estate. I played with a lot of bigger players, which I was used to, obviously. Before Craig can say that, I had to grow up a lot quicker from where I grew up, and you had to learn how to deal with things in different ways. So it was definitely an interesting environment to grow up in. But yeah, as you said, like signing for West Ham and travelling from Millwall to go to West Ham. Well, like from Bermondsey, where I'm from, which is like not far from the Old Kent Road. Yeah, I wouldn't put the West Ham kit on until we got through the other side of the Blackwall Tunnel. So. I don't think my dad would have let me leave the estate with it on, so I'd bring it in the car with me and get changed once we got through out of South London and across through the Blackwall Tunnel and on the way to West Ham, and then I'd put my training kit on.
So then, obviously, you turned professional, had a couple of moves in England before moving over to Ireland. We'll touch on the sort of management side of your time at Cork in a minute, but in terms of sort of the playing days, you really sort of had some memorable memories sort of during that time. First of all, on Cork in particular, how special of a club was that for you?
Probably where I played my best football and probably where I enjoyed my football the most as in my playing career. It was amazing, to be honest. It was weird the way it worked out. And I was playing for Margate in the conference, and we'd played on a Saturday, and I flew out the Saturday evening, played a friendly game for Cork on the pre-season friendly game on the Sunday against Kilkenny. Played quite well. I was on the bus on the way back, and the manager was Pat Doland at the time, and he said to me, I don't need to go back, can you stay? And I had family ties with Cork, because my granddad was from there, so I had a lot of family based there. And I didn't go back. I stayed for 2 weeks because the season was starting the following week. Literally, I was in one set of clothes. I was borrowing clothes off the boys. One of my still close friends with now is Liam Carney, and he was a little bit smaller than me, but I was able to fit into his clothes. And I remember him giving me a pair of flared jeans and cream shoes, and thinking, what are these? If I went out in London in these, my mates would kill me. The fans kind of took to me really well there at Cork, and I think people who know me, whatever I do, I try to do it, put everything into it. And when I played, I just always tried to leave everything on the pitch, and I didn't care if I played well or bad, as long as I made whoever I played against their life live in hell and made it difficult for them. And I'd always put the team over your own performance first, because I just wanted to win all the time.
And I know you get a bit of stick in our office for this, but you have played in some pretty sort of big games. You've played in the Champions League, you've played in the Europa League. I know you played against Juventus and some of the names in that side. Just how special is those kind of accolades in terms of playing in those types of competitions and against those kind of names?
Yeah, it's weird because when you're playing at them, you're not thinking of it that way, and then when you have conversations with people outside of it, like when your career's finished, people go, can't believe you played in that, and you start to remember little bits of the games, and you start to remember how I used to watch some of them players play on TV, but when you were going to play games against them, it was I want to beat them. I want to, show that I'm good enough to play at that level. And you're more concentrated on your own performance in terms of how you did in terms of the actual occasion. I think when you look back on it now, you probably sit there and go, I probably wish I'd have taken more of it in, and realised how lucky I was to actually play in some of them games. And achieved playing against some big clubs and like players who moved on and won World Cups and things like that. You're like going, like, I probably didn't take enough interest in it at the time because I just wanted to win. I didn't want to, like, I wasn't one for going around grabbing shirts and stuff after games and stuff like that. It used to annoy me. Like, I didn't want to speak to people before games. I just wanted to go and whoever I played against, just wanted to beat. And I wish now, because with my little boy and stuff like that, like he finds it amazing. Like when you tell him stuff and he goes through things and he still finds out things now, and you're like going, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, I did do that. And he's like, why didn't you tell me? And you're like, you just forget like a little bit. But as like people like dive into your career a little bit more and talk to you about stuff, and you start to remember certain aspects of your career, like I'm proud of what I did. Like I achieved quite a lot. Probably achieved things that I probably didn't expect to, and probably as a kid dreamed of doing, but never really thought I would achieve as I got older. But you know, like I can't deny that I had a really good career, and like for me, like I'm proud of what I achieved and what I did. And some of the players I've been able to play against, I know, as you said, I get the stick in the office about the Juventus game because the ball going over my head for the free kick, and I'm like, well, I should have been in a wall anyway. But yeah, playing against some of them players was crazy, and like just what you think of them when you see them on telly, that's exactly what they play like. Like they're fast, they move the ball quick, you can't get near them.
So then, in terms of you move into management, just quickly touch on Cork. How much did you enjoy that spell?
I loved it. To be honest, it's like as a player growing up there and going through like a lot. We went through a lot of Cork as players. Like we went through not getting paid, club being in administration, you know, going through like no payments for like 18 to 12 weeks, and then like the group of players we had and winning leagues when we were a young team and being in cup finals, good European runs and beating some like class teams in Europe. And to go back there as a manager, I was like, great opportunity. And I really enjoyed it. We had, again, a young team. We're trying to develop it and trying to improve the quality on the pitch. And you know, we worked hard like as a staff and as myself and the players to try and get the club, you know, challenging the top half of the table because it's a massive club called, like a really, really big club. And that was always the aim. Can we start challenging the top half of the table, and if we can get to there, then can we then start to develop and progress and get better? But we've done well with the team we had. We had a girl coming through Eva Mangy, she ended up playing was called up to the Ireland 4 international squads and doing well. There's a young girl who's just moved to Southampton, Kira Senna. We had a girl, Alex Mendes, who's gone to Aberdeen, and you know, look, we produced some good players, and listen, we were part of their development. Like, they had to do the hard work and go out and play, but you know, we tried to create a platform where they could excel, and I think we achieved that quite a lot as a staff.
How was it that you sort of got into women's football? Where was the introduction to that for you?
So I finished playing football and I was a bit lost. I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I didn't kind of know whether I wanted to go down the coaching route, and made some mistakes and done some silly things, and probably didn't live my life the right way after football, and just struggled with it a little bit. Like, was lost without having 26 mates around me every day and having a laugh and enjoying it. It becomes a bit lonelier. You're on your own, and I found it really difficult. And I went through a few different jobs, and I started coaching the club, a men's team in Ireland. Done quite well, but I was coming back to London to go home for Christmas, and I met someone I knew at the airport, and he was saying to me about why wouldn't you go to America. I just said to him, mate, it's a nightmare trying to get visas, and trying to get out is a disaster. And he went, no, like, I know someone who works out there looking for people, they've got actual visas. So I ended up going out there for like a year for working for a company, and I'd done a little bit of both out there. Like, I'd worked with the boys, worked with the girls, and I'd done a little bit of both coaching wise. And then I met people from South Carolina who knew a little bit about me from my career, because one's a Scottish person, two other lads are Irish, one's from Limerick, one's from Drogheda, so you had Pierce, Andrew and David Minahan, and I met them, and they offered me a role at the football club there at Carolina Elite Soccer Academy. And I think originally I was going out to like be involved more with the boys' side, and I think like I heavily got involved because of delaying my visa, going into the girls' side of it. And Yeah, loved it. Like, really enjoyed it. I mean, to be honest, I couldn't have gone into a better club with quality of players and like 2,500, 3,000 players in the football club, and like the women's side is probably one of the most successful, you know, probably well-known clubs in America. So like for me, it was great opportunity. Got to work with some top Division 1 schools in terms of like the Clemson, South Carolina, you know, Florida. Like, you got to work with like all these women's teams, and from, you know, the elite level at kind of, we'd call it academy here, to like university level and working with players, and it was just, yeah, so that's where it all kind of started really. And then I came back from the US just before COVID hit, like lockdown. My little boy was getting a bit older then, and I was just thinking, do you know what, he's going to secondary school, probably need to be around a little bit more, not off on holiday in America for another 3 years. And I got involved with Welling Football Club, going in as just an auxiliary coach really on the boys' side. And I was at a training, I said I had one girls team, and it was a mixed age group from like under 9 to 13, and they was telling me that they play in the league games. I'm like, what, all them mixed together? There was only like 12. I said, look, I'd like to take over like running the girls' side there and like look after it. So between me and another girl, Vicky, we took over the girls' side, and we started to really push it. And over the lockdown, we went from having one team of mixed age groups to we had a team nearly in every age group, from under 9s to under 16s, and then a women's first team that we started from scratch and competing in like tier 7, and we managed to get them up out of tier 7 and into tier 6, and we should have gone up out of tier 6, but obviously lockdown then happened then, and we shut down, and we didn't manage to keep hold of the points in the way it went. And but that's kind of like where it kind of all fell into place, and then things kind of didn't, where I wanted to go with things at Welling and where the club wanted to go with it, we had very different views. So it just kind of, you know, separate ways, and I then got the opportunity in Cork, and that was it then. Got back out there, and I think I've been there 4 different spells now at Cork, so I think it's like a boomerang, just keep coming back.
And just quickly then, we'll go more in depth in a minute, but just on Fylde initially, what was it that sort of attracted you to this project and this football club?
Probably my initial first conversations with Ian Barraclough, like showing me the facilities and what we have and what we're trying to achieve as a club. I could see that, I suppose the last couple of clubs I've been at, place where I've had to really like do a lot of work to try and like develop the football club, put in all the groundwork, and to just make ends meet in terms of from a financial aspect for myself. Like, you'd have to work 3 or 4 jobs on top of doing the coaching, and like I had an opportunity to come to a club where it was a full-time role. Everything that I wanted to achieve for myself and for a football club that I was with, I'd have the support and be able to do. And being able to come into a football club where everything's there for you to do, and it's just making you doing the work and making sure that you follow through and do things that you say you're going to do. I think they were the biggest things for me. And then meeting with, obviously, with David, the owner, and you know, and the way we spoke on the phone, and his passion for the girls' side of the club, and probably people don't hear it enough, but I think like they don't understand how much like he actually cares about how the women's are doing, and like, and where he wants them to be. And I think it helps so much when you're a manager, because women's game's tough, like in terms of trying to have financial backing, financial support, trying to get supporters from a football club, and trying to get like the owners of football clubs to really be heavily involved in the women's side is actually quite difficult. And like, you're at a football club where you've got all of that. So like for me, my job's so much easier. It's now, I've just got, well, I say easier, but I've got to make sure we win every week, and I've got to make sure that we're improving all the time and we're getting better. And I think that was the big appeal to me really, is being that I knew I could come into a football club and coach and manage and be able to implement things I wanted to implement and be supported in doing that. I think they were the biggest things for me.
Well, it's certainly been an enjoyable 12 months, so let's take a look back at Danny Murphy's time at AFC Fylde so far.
I'm excited to keep going, and looking forward to meeting all the girls, and hopefully we can start progressing further up the league. Can we be a club that players want to come and play for in this area and want to be a part of? And I think that's going to be the task, and it's something I've always tried to do at the clubs I've been at. For me, I'm I'm ambitious and I want to do well, and I want the football club to do well.
Going for it right from kick-off, and it's in the back of the net. Lois Moore puts Fylde ahead after just 5 seconds.
Bill Corrigan onto a right foot, floats one at the back post. It's in. Lois Moore to nod home. It's the opener for the Coasters, number 9. Beth Mason gets the final touch, and she puts Fylde ahead on the stroke of half-time. It's the Fylde skipper, Holly Kelsh-Ridge. And it's slotted in. Georgia Payton grabs her first Coasters goal.
We wasn't a club, we was a team. You know, we was a team within a football club, and now I feel like we are a football club.
Now, we did an interview the other week and you gave me an unbelievable quote about how you're not just a football team anymore, you were a team within a football club, and I think that really sort of hit home the project that you've built here. We'll touch on the academy side of it in a minute, but in terms of the first team, how much sort of progression have you seen over the past 12 months?
Yeah, a lot. I think from when I came in to now, like it was tough because we didn't really have a squad of players. We had like 12, 13, 14 max, and you know, to try and train right and to try and do things right and to implement game plans or build a structure of how you want to play or a style of play was near enough impossible. Like, you know, and I've probably said it a lot to the girls this year, is like we had to change so much for every other team we played last year. Like we probably played like 5 or 6 different formations, and like you're trying to hang in on games instead of like going out and trying to implement a game to try and win a game. When I think that's the biggest thing for me this year is like, we have our style of play, we have our formation. Yes, there's movements and things we do within that may change the look of the formation, but ultimately it all reverts back to the same thing. But it's a clear understanding of what we're trying to do, and allowing the girls to look. We want to be free flowing, we want to be attacking, we want to, you know. But and I'm like, but when we lose the ball, make sure we get back. You know, and how quickly can you win the ball back? And I think the implementation of things that I've wanted from the players this year has been unbelievable, like, and probably puts us where we are because, you know, look, yes, I don't like conceding goals and I want to be winning every game by 6, 7, 8 goals and keeping clean sheets, but realistically that's not possible. But the amount of clean sheets we've kept this year, it comes down to the quality of the players we have and them implementing a game plan of what it looks like, not just when we have the ball, of what it looks like when we don't have it.
You spoke a lot in the off-season about making sure you had not just a squad, but a squad of players who wanted to be here and wanted to play for the badge. There feels a real sort of togetherness within that group, and you know, you spend 10 minutes around them and you're always laughing and having a joke. But do you feel like you've got that, and you've got a real sort of together group that really want to be here and want to see this football club succeed? Yeah,
I think some obviously the signings we made in the summer, like bringing, you know, Molly Kelly in and adding Emma into the team, and you know, keeping older Beth from last season, and you know, Nick probably taking a more senior role within the team, and you know, likes of Orla coming out of her shell a little bit more, and you know, Lois, it's made a big difference. Like, you know, adding, you know, like even like Millie, people forget Millie's only 17 years of age, like. But now she's starting to become a senior player within the team. Like, she's had nearly 2 full seasons at senior level, and you know, she plays quite a lot. And I think they're the girls who have kind of probably brought it all together, and probably them as a team and as a group have been the ones that have probably achieved what we wanted to, because they do like playing for the football club. A couple of them work here at the club. You know, like they want to be a part of training. They want to be there. They like, you know, they just care about it, and it's like, for me, it's so much easier because, yes, I ask them to go and implement things and do stuff, but I'm not trying to like be a Mr. Motivator every game. Like my speeches and chats before the game are not like really about making sure they're up for it. Like they want to win every week, and yes, I want them to be ruthless and I want them to score loads of goals. I'm like, listen, when you're beating a team, don't just be happy beating teams 2-3-0, go and beat them 6, 7, 8, 9. But they've taken that on board, because you can sit and talk about all you want in the dressing room and talk about in interviews and everything like that, but ultimately, like, you've got to hope that your players can implement it on a football pitch. And like, I don't have any fear that they'll do that, because like, you turn up at games, you're never worried about how they're going to turn up or what they're going to do, because you do have the likes of like a Molly Kelly, who, yes, she's a messer and she'll be giggling and messing around, but like when it comes to playing a game, she'll put her head where most people won't even put their foot, and she'll come off with stitches just to score a goal or to stop a goal. And like, that's what we've brought into the club, and everyone's bought into it. So it's been massive for me and the rest of the staff to have people like her come in and support us in what we wanted to achieve.
And just finally, obviously, you know, the first team's been, you know, a joy to watch, but you've also built a really solid academy. We're going to go more in depth in that and sort of see how that sort of all unfolds. But just initially, how pleased have you been? How that's sort of come to fruition, and you know how the academy's performed over the last few months?
Yeah, no, I'm really pleased with the academy. I think it's done really well. I think there's a purpose for the academy. It's to provide players for the first team. And I think at the moment it's serving its purpose really well. And the coaching staff and the players and the families involved all understand that, you know, I want it to be very clear that we are trying to create a pathway for players to come into our first team. It's not just an academy for the sake of having an academy. I've said it a lot, I don't really want to be in the PGA. I want players to come in my first team, and I want to produce players that come into that. And I'm like, it can't be just about numbers at them age groups. And I think we look at our under 16s, we're probably going to have 6 or 7 moving up into the reserve team after Christmas. Now that they'll be 16, and I think we'll have 2 girls probably from the reserve team are training with the first team at the moment, and will probably make their debuts before the end of the season. And you've probably got 2 or 3 of the under 16s that are not a million miles away from doing it either. So I think the whole look of what we're trying to achieve has been brilliant, and that credit goes to the staff and the coaches involved in that, and everyone who's like coaching them teams, and they understand what I want and what my expectations are. And it's brilliant when you go out there and like they're the same, like they're disappointed. They win a game 2-0 and the team hasn't played well. Like, we've got to pass the ball better, we've got to do this better, we've always got to improve. And I think, you know, that's why we're achieving what we're achieving, because we do have a bit of a ruthlessness about us. We're like, we don't just want to win games, we want to win them by playing good football and implementing like our club structure, and all the coaches are trying to adhere to that and keep it going. And I think that's why we're having the success in the academy as well.
Well, let's go down to the AFC Fylde Women's Academy and see just what they've been building over the last few months.
Probably all started from the day I turned up for my interview, really, with David, and was Ian Barraclough at the time. And you know, my conversation with them was around, like, you know, to build a football club and, you know, generate, you know, more people coming to games, and hopefully, like, you know, having a younger age groups that can, you know, be a part, feel like we can create a family and a football club we're all proud of.
So basically, Dan gave us a call about the 18s and the reserves, and wanted to put something in place for the first team off of girls who weren't quite ready for the first team, so they were still getting minutes. And we basically then went out and built the academy from that, and we got a load of interest in it, and that led to a 16s, a 14s, and it evolved from there, basically.
For me, it's like, it's important that you have a pathway, and you have, you know, that, you know, constantly have a room to bring players in, and players to constantly be looked at for the first team, instead of, you know, you're going outside your football club, outside your area, people who don't understand what the club's about and don't buy into the processes of what we're trying to do, and don't play with pride and passion of playing with a jersey. And I think, like, I've always noticed that with having an academy that naturally happens, because the kids have been here for a while, they care about it, it means something to them, it's something they feel that they're a part of from a younger age.
I think we just wanted to get a reserve side. I think we just wanted something in place underneath the first team, because it was difficult for Dan recruitment wise. It was constant every year turnover, and we wanted to just get like a pathway of some description, a starting point, and it evolved. We just got so much interest in it online and through people applying, and then at another club unfortunately ceased to exist, and a lot of the players came here from there as well.
Talk to me about the specifics of actually creating the academy. How does that sort of happen?
A lot of hard work. It was kind of, I met with Ash, and then that kind of evolved, because originally we was just going to have the under 18s and Ash was going to come in as the manager for that, and then obviously certain things happened in and around the area with other clubs, and opportunities became available to kind of grow the club from, you know, with different age groups. But then we had to be specific in terms of the way me and Ash wanted to go about things. Is like that we could have potentially had a team in every age group, like from under 14s all the way up to under 18s. But like, what was the point? Like the thing was, what we wanted the academy to be was about developing players in the right way, hopefully giving them first team opportunities and creating a clear pathway. So we sat down, we discussed it, let's have an 18s, we put that together, we'll work on that, we have a 16s, and then all of a sudden we ended up with a 14s as well, and we probably could have had a 10s and a 12s, and we could have filled every age group in between that. But I suppose part of our process was to think that we'd have each girl at the football club potentially for 2 seasons in each age group. So we've got 2 years to develop them, 2 years to work with them before they move on to a different coach and into a different age group. And that was a part of our process and full process behind trying to develop the academy. And then, you know, obviously Ella came in, which was Cal's daughter, with the 16s, and we spoke to him about potentially coming in as a manager, and you know, and he's been excellent. I mean, like, you look at the achievements he's made within the club in terms of with his team and the players he's developing. It's been amazing.
Going into the 16s, how did that all come about?
So I've coached football for years. Like I said, my daughter was leaving Blackburn, and I've not coached purely because she was training on many nights where other teams train. So I used to take her to her training and games on weekends, so it was just full on with her. But the opportunity came as she came here, and they were still looking for coaches. So I spoke to Ash and then Danny, and then that's how it's evolved. And then, to Ella's dismay, I then eventually took the under-16s coaching job.
You know, we had James, whose daughter as well was in the academy, and he come in to take the 14s, and you know, even with him, like, and how the achievements he's had with the 14s. And Mark came in originally with Ash on the 18/reserves, and we've kind of changed the name a little bit with that now, because it's like it needs to be a development squad. You know, yes, they'll play under the reserve umbrella when they play within the league, but like, they are a team that is going to be young. It's going to be 16 plus under 20 players that are going to be, we feel, are good enough to play National League women's football, but need to develop and get some experience. And Mark came in with Ash. Mark kind of took over the mantle a little bit for us, you know, with Ash moving in to take a bigger role within the club and kind of overseeing the development of all academy teams and recruitment of players and coaches. And it's something I couldn't, you know, I suppose, spend a lot of my time doing, with also trying to look after the women's team and other areas of the club that I still need to develop and improve. So like, having Ash come in was massive for me, because it took a lot of pressure off me, and it was able for me to have someone who reports back to me on things, and someone I can go to and have conversations about what we want to do, how we want to do things, and would implement it and do it in the right way.
I think at the time recording, it's 17 wins out of 17 this season. For any group in football, that's an incredible record, but just what do you put that run down to?
The girls, purely and simply the girls. They've been outstanding. Like you said there, 17 wins in 17 competitive games is unreal at any level of football. I guess their desire and knowledge of the game as well has been like I said earlier, way beyond their years. They rock up to training and the standards they set, second to none. The quality of football the girls play has been outstanding. We've had good feedback from Man United, Liverpool, Stoke, Leeds, all those kind of clubs about how good the girls are. Take for example the second game of the season in the JPL Warriors Cup. We were away to Stoke, we were 3-1 down, 10 minutes left, the girls rallied, won that game 4-3, unbelievable. And then the week after we played Man United at home, won that game 1-0. So the feedback we've had from other clubs has been really positive, and can't really say how good the girls have been. They've handled it on and off the pitch really well. No cocky attitudes, they've always been humble, and it's been a pleasure to watch them.
How crucial is it that there is a clear pathway at a football club, and you're not just in the academy for the sake of it and to make up the numbers?
I think that's the main thing that we want to do. We want a realistic pathway, a pathway where players can actually see the first team, they can see an opportunity that, not everybody's going to make it, we understand that, but we've got to be so much more than just one out of each group. If we have a remit, we want to get 4 or 5 players out of each age group, eventually playing for the first team, or if not, much higher than what we are at that moment. But it's very difficult, I think, for girls nowadays post 16 to go into first teams. So we wanted to just put something in place that we could say, look, just because you're not ready at a certain age doesn't mean you can't still develop. And making sure that when a player comes to us, they can see that there is a realistic pathway into the first team.
Obviously it's been a really great experience so far. I've enjoyed every second of it. The facilities are good, the coaches are amazing, they're kind, and the pathway through, working your way up through the academy, is great as well. I've been here for less than half a season, and I've been on the bench for the first team. It's been amazing. It's been really clearly set. It's good. You can see where your next step. You can see where you're aiming to. It's really good. I've been involved in the first team. It's been next level. The keeper coach, all the coaches are amazing, and you're learning the philosophy that the first team are, and it's every age group set up the same way. So it's just the next level. You're just improving on what you already know throughout the thing.
As a young player within senior football, I think it's a great pathway into first team with great opportunities. We've had quite a lot of young players training with us already this season, so I think it's just what I would have loved.
Are you surprised at how well this has gone?
Yeah, yes and no. I think I have the right people in place to make it work. We're driven as coaches, and obviously with myself, it's I want everything to be the best. I don't want to win everything. So I always say to myself, whatever I do, I'm going to do it at the best of my ability. I'm going to put all my time, all my effort into it. And I think the amount of hard work that the coaching staff and myself, and even Heather and everyone who's involved with the football club, the hard work always pays off if you put it in.
Me and Danny first sat down, we wanted to make sure that we all played the same way. We had an identity. What is AFC Fylde Women? What is the identity? What does that look like at under 14? What does it look like at under 16? What does it look like at under 23? And can we find a Fylde player, or something we would describe as a Fylde player in each age group? But the success is based on the coaches. Making sure that we all have a clear identity, a clear path of what we want to happen for the players, from all the way down to the lowest level that we do, which is under 14s.
You're in a position where on a weeknight you could go down to the FSEC training facility, and the place is buzzing with AFC Fylde Women's players from all ages. That must fill you with so much pride.
Oh yeah, listen, I love it, because they're not just AFC Fylde players, they're fans. So and that was a big reason as well behind creating a football club within the women's team. Is that we would hopefully have future fans, and I've said this quite a bit, is at some stage, what we need to do is give the players the best possible opportunities, the best possible experience of being at the football club. Because at some stage players are going to leave, but can they leave and still be a fan of what we're trying to do? And they might leave from, you know, injury or different opportunities, or didn't quite make it to first team level, or someone bigger club come in and bought them, but they understand that they've been a part of the process of building a football club. So like for me it's important because like I can go down to Epsiode, I know every single player, I know them all by name, I know all the parents, people know they can come up to me and say hello and have conversations, and the younger girls can come up, they have a bit of banter with you, a little fist pump and a bit of a laugh, and you know, but my face is not there I want girls when they come up with first team football, they know me, they know what I'm like, they know what my expectations are.
How much confidence does that give you that, you know, not just your daughter but the team you're coaching for, you know, is being backed and supported, and there is a genuine desire for success from all sides of the football club?
It's been a breath of fresh air, honestly. It's like since the moment we've come into the club, hats off to David and everybody else at the club and Danny. They've embraced the girls, all the girls' side. They've answered any questions, they've integrated them into the club as quickly as possible. Kit and equipment, anything they need, they've got there. The training facilities are absolutely second to none. The gym, the S&C, minibuses for away games wherever we go all over the northwest and all over the north is there and ready and available for us to use. So to have that level of support from the club, it's just a massive relief, and that you can just do the coaching side and everything else is looked after, knowing that the girls have got everything they need to develop, and all they need to focus on is getting better and hopefully breaking into the first team.
It's been brilliant. You know, it's been, I think for me to come in as an under-18/reserves coach, to see where I've gone from now, the work we've done with Danny, with Cal, you know, with other academy staff, it's been a joy from the minute I've walked in, and I can't wait to see where we get to.
Yes, a lot of effort and a lot of work's been put into building the academy and growing it, but we've still got a lot of work to do, and we all know that, and we're not a finished article, we're not finished on where we're at or where we want to get it to. So there's still a lot of hard work to come down the line, but it's a lot of hard work has happened in such a short space of time, and a lot of really good stuff's been done, and to be able to implement what we want in terms of style of play, the type of people we want in a football club, that comes down to the people you bring in, and the people that we've got in are good people who care about the football club, and they've bought into myself and bought into my other staff, and it's like a big family really. Like we all get on, we have a laugh, and we know people know what I expect, and they enforce the certain things that I kind of want to see within the academy and what I expect at senior level. So yeah, it has been hard work. It's been a lot of hard work, but it's something we all expected to do and was willing to do because we care about the football club. But I'm extremely proud of the academy and everything that's been achieved by the coaches and the players, because without the players, the coaches won't be able to achieve it, and without the coaches' dedication and hard work to being there, the players probably wouldn't be able to achieve the results and things that they're getting. So, they bounce off each other really well, and it's been amazing, to be honest.
Now, here at AFC Fylde, we know all of the things that we do wouldn't be possible without our amazing sponsors and partners. So, for this episode, we take a trip down to Derby Hill Farm to see all the amazing work that they do across the Fylde coast.
Derby Hill Farm has been here since 1850 when Lord Derby built the estate. My great-granddad was the first tenant back in 1850, and I'm the fifth generation to farm here. We produce milk, flavoured milk and butter, and we sell it to the Fylde and the surrounding area as doorstep deliveries, and we're proud to sponsor the ladies as part of the community. Well, I'm very proud to supply Fylde with milk, first of all, over at Mill Farm, and then I was offered the opportunity to sponsor the ladies, which are great to sponsor in the community. I have girls myself, and they're into ladies football, so I'm very proud to be part of it. So yeah, it's great.
And just finally, we've had a couple of women's players here today. Just tell me a bit about what they've been up to.
They've been having a look around the young stock, which is great. All the cows behind us here, they all have young calves, obviously, and then we've been having a look around the young stock and wandering around the cows and showing them what the cows eat, the diet, what they produce, and been having a taste of some of the flavoured milks we produce as well. If anybody will be interested in a delivery, we're a doorstep delivery business, and we deliver milk all around the Fylde, Thornton, Cleveland and over Wyre. If anyone would like a doorstep delivery of milk, flavoured milk or butter, so all produced on the farm, we'd be delighted to supply the milk. So great, no, that'd be great.
So finally then, Danny, I think you and Craig Martin have battered each other in enough interviews, so I'm going to let you praise him this time. Just on the relationship with not just Craig but Alex, with Nilo, you seem to have a really good sort of understanding of the game, all of you. You all seem quite knowledgeable, and I think like even sitting in on those kind of conversations is quite interesting for someone like myself. So just how much are you sort of benefiting from being around those kind of people and being able to, you know, discuss tactics and talk about games and learn from each other?
Yeah, listen, it's massively beneficial, honestly. It's like, do you know, when you coach and when you manage, like, you can't stop thinking about football, and like you're always like trying to want to improve, and you know, you probably bore a lot of people to death because they're like, I don't want to talk about football tonight, and like, leave me alone. And like, when you come in here and I've got like 5 or 6 people I can bounce ideas off, like even with Stuart as well, like, you know, and you know, even yourselves and Jack, and like you can go just like what did you think of the game, and Anthony, and like, and you give feedback and you can have conversations with things. But like, to have the support from the senior men's team that I get, like, and you know, to have conversations with them about how we can improve things, what we could do better, like, or why they might have played a certain way at the weekend, or you know, even little things with like, I've sent Nilo clips like on the goalkeepers and stuff and said like, oh, what do you think of this? And he's like, yeah, no, I can see what she's trying to do, but you know, probably would have been a different option to do this. And it's like having all them different conversations is massive, like, and they've got wealth of experience as well, like, and they're at a level where it's more cutthroat, and it's like you've got to be on it all the time. So like, what are they doing that we could implement? And like, how their style of football is brilliant. Like, honestly, they play such good football, and it's like I come to nearly every home game. Right? I come to all the home games if I can, because I just like watching them. Like, I like watching how they move the ball. I like watching the different rotations they might have in wide areas and in midfield, and you know, why might you not play with a number 9 and the number 9 ends up out wide, and like having them conversations with them is brilliant, because like there's certain reasons and aspects as to why they want to do that, and you know, we probably don't get enough of them problems in the level we're at, but it's like knowledge for me for when we do, like when we go up, what issues am I going to get? So if that comes up, it's like something's already in the mind that triggers something to go, oh, actually I've had a conversation with him about that, so maybe we could try that. And I think that it's massively important. And look, we do slag each other, and look, I know I get grief off the 3 of them, it's always 3v1, but no, they're brilliant, they are, they're massive. And do you know what, I think it's credit to the football club that you've got people like that involved in it, that actually care about not just their own team but everything that's going on. And I think what Craig and the staff have done in terms of being around like every aspect of the football club and not just their own team is like, that's tough as well, like, because they're under their own pressures and they've got their own things to be doing, but they're giving up the time and the effort to go and be around everything. I think, look, it's credit to the football club and them people that are driving the club on and to make it the success that we all really want to see it have.
You touched on it a little bit earlier in terms of, I know there's plenty of football clubs now that aren't quite supporting the women's side as much as, you know, people would like them to be, and you know, unfortunately we are seeing plenty of women's teams fold and you know, players move on, kind of thing. Not so much lucky, but in terms of the togetherness that's at this football club, and you know, the men's side supporting the women's side, you know, and staff sort of all kind of chipping in. How pleased is that for you in terms of, you know, you have got that support and everyone's sort of buying into, you know, that togetherness feeling across both teams, you know, as one?
It's honestly, it's like, it's hard to say, but like to put really into words, but like it's a warm feeling, like it's a nice feeling, you know, like it feels family orientated in terms of how we all are, and everyone kind of cares about each other. And yes, we rip into each other all the time, and we, you know, but it's friendly banter, and it's such a good thing for me, like on the side of the football side of the aspect for me, because it's just not used to having that. I mean, I was lucky at Cork, I did have it with Colin Healy, but like, and Tim Clancy, but the rest of it, like, not really, just the managers. Whereas I've got not just the manager, I've got all the people working the whole of Mill Farm, like everyone in the office. You've got, you know, the owner, your sporting director, and like all them people that all actually care, and everyone has an interest. And I think it's so big for the girls, and where we're trying to get our women's to and where we want the game to grow to, that you need that support, because there is days when it's tough and there is days when it's like hard, but when you come into an office and you've got, you know, the right staff around you and good people around you that help you through them things, I think it's massively important. Because I didn't feel great after Middlesbrough game. I was disappointed, I was upset, but like when one of the players comes up to you on the bus and just says to you, sorry, we didn't do enough, like, it shows how much they care. And I think once I heard that, it was just like, do you know what, we've just got to move on. Like, we've got a massive game this weekend, we've just got to move on and go to that. And I'm lucky as well. I'm in a good environment, supported by the club and the owner and by the players as well, because they ultimately back up what I ask them to do. So if they didn't, then it'd be really hard.
In terms of the season for both teams, how exciting is the potential? You know, both teams are at the right end of the respective leagues, and you know, both playing full of confidence. But how exciting is it that, you know, the potential that this season could hold for both sides? Yeah,
look, I do say one game at a time, and I know I'd say that, but ultimately I want to win the league. Like, basically, like, I'm not here to tiptoe around it. Like, I want to win the league, but like, you know, during season mode and when you're in it, like, you have to take it one game at a time. And I mean, look, I want to win both cup competitions that we're in. Like, I want a treble, and that's the message I send to the girls: is I fully expect us to win the league this year. I fully expect us to at least make the final of both cup competitions. So yes, we take things one game at a time, and we're looking to like improve week on week and want to win every week. But my expectation is I want to win. Like, I want to win every competition we're into. I know I joked around the office and I was like, yeah, we'll win the FA Cup as well. Like, and you was all laughing. I'm like, but if I don't go into things with that mentality, like, and I go into things going, oh, one game at a time, and hopefully we win this weekend and we'll worry about next weekend. Girls know me well enough that, you know, that's not what I'm thinking. And it's a case of like, yes, we do have to worry about the next opponent. Like, so now our game this weekend against Bury is the next biggest game for us. And we have to go into that, and we have to try and get a win, and we have to try and win the game, because to stay where we want to stay and to win what we want to win, we have to win each week, every week. And we've got to carry on doing that. And yeah, there's a pressure that we all put on each other, but the girls fully have that expectation as well. And yes, it might be a little bit arrogant, but at the same time we're like going, no, but we're good enough to go and do it, so why not think it? Why not want to achieve it? And I think it's the same on the men's side. Like, we've got the players, you've got the manager, you've got the staff, and you've got the facilities. And I think for Craig, like, ultimately he wants to get promoted. Would he like to do it, win the league? 100% he would. Like, but you have to talk like that. You know, you can't let players get carried away, and you have to keep them at a level where you're saying, look, yes, this is the end goal of the football club, is promotion, and we both want to win the league, and that's our aspirations as the management, is that you want to win it. But you have to keep your team level, and you have to keep them grounded, and you have to keep them focused. That don't worry about the finish line, let's worry about every mile to get there, and every week's another mile, and we've got to keep pushing every week to try and keep improving and getting there.
Well, that's a wrap for the second episode of the Coasters Show. A huge thank you to Danny for joining us. You can keep up with all the latest content, pre and post match reaction, all in one place here on Coasters TV.